It seems a common trend now that some sim racing hardware companies already have a background in creating and delivering products in a different market. Moza is the latest of this type of company to emerge, and with their unique looking wheelbases with bright playful colours, they hope to make a big impression. I've been sent the Moza R16 base for review, and today, having used it for several weeks now, I want to share my long-term review with you. I'm Lawrence, welcome to the channel. Introduction. On the left you'll see all the sections in this video. I've put timestamped links to each section in the description below. While you're down there, please hit the thumbs up button to help YouTube suggest this video to others like you. 70% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed to the channel. Please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified about upcoming reviews. Every company dreams of breaking into a new market with a bang, especially if you already have significant experience in creating tech products. However, despite being quite established in the camera gimbals industry, Moza got off to a less than ideal start with sim racing, it seems, with relatively primitive software and firmware options. However, I'm delighted that this is a long-term review. Moza has been working incredibly hard to listen to the feedback of people like me, and where they've gotten this product to in the meantime is pretty incredible, even within my limited few months of ownership. For context, this isn't an off-the-shelf or third-party motor either. Moza makes these motors, and they actually also make automotive parts. There's a lot more to Moza than just camera gimbals, it seems. First impressions. I had asked them for the black version as it looked decent in the photos. However, at the time the R16 was only available in orange, so that's what I got. Despite looking better than it does on the photos, the shape of this wheelbase confused me somewhat. Mounting it was a bit of a chore, which I'll get to in a moment, but also the design with its fake cooling inlets just didn't really do it for me. It still doesn't, to be honest. But looks aren't really the product's party piece. This looks more like a belt-driven wheelbase than a DD unit. Moza has sent me this unit for review, free of charge. My first impressions were decent, the hardware is good quality, and the very impressive looking software made for a satisfying product with great potential. I began to write my script, and I kept having to update the force feedback section because of the automatic software updates that came in thick and fast with excellent changelogs. I'm really glad I didn't release this video sooner. Price. The prices for these units and bundles vary a lot, so it's worth shopping around. If you're in the UK, I recommend checking out Abruzzi, who have this bundle for £1,239. In the EU, I recommend Simware.eu, who have this package at an incredible €1,259 right now. I've included links to both in the description below. There's also a mounting bracket available at extra cost, which is ideal if you mount directly to aluminium profile, but if you're going to need to drill anyways like I did, you probably won't end up using it. I'd love to see a simple drilling template sticker with the square mounting pattern included with this product to make life easier for those who need to drill into their mounting plates. For an extra €200, you can get this beautiful looking DDU display. I was also sent one of these, but on this occasion I have chosen not to review it as it did not live up to the expectations that it needs to. It didn't fit correctly and had relatively limited sim title support, along with a relatively limited set of dashes despite being beautiful and vibrant. I hope that they improve this unit accordingly, but for now I simply cannot recommend it. Installation. Hardware. I like having lots of mounting options. Generally, it means that more people will buy your products because installation will be a breeze. With that in mind, I was very disappointed that the Moza R16 wheelbase only caters for base mounting. So despite using a relatively widely adopted Fanatec mounting pattern, same as Simagic products, there's no option to front or side mount this wheelbase. And the lack of options to mount seems to be born out of the fact that they chose to make this DD servo motor wheelbase look more like a belt-driven wheelbase than a servo motor wheelbase. Anyways, they did provide me with a mounting bracket which is extra as mentioned. This mounting bracket is a base mount adapter and is probably only useful to mount to a piece of aluminium profile. I try to avoid mounting brackets underneath my wheelbases as it tends to mean that whatever the wheelbase mounts to ends up closer to my legs. I chose to drill holes in my SimLab base mount, which surprisingly didn't cater for this popular mounting pattern. Once installed, I didn't have any issues, but I never did warm to the styling, which features a hump over the top which makes it very difficult to slide it under monitors for that perfect FOV. One other thing to note also is that the Moza R16 does not feature a perfectly horizontal incline. It's actually inclined about 5 degrees, which is nice for people who don't have an adjustable wheelbase mount. Installation, software. I had a rocky start from a software point of view. I had conflicts with audio drivers, but Moza soon fixed those with impressive efficiency. It really began to become apparent that Moza listens to the users and has an active, dedicated team to implement improvements. Every software changelog is packed with enhancements and fixes. Moza aims to have an incredible amount of customizability in their software, which is great news for most people but can overwhelm others. They do offer setting presets which are decent out of the box. One funky and innovative feature is this graph which allows you to raise and lower the forces in certain ranges. It looks like an equalizer, and effectively it is. If you're not feeling enough curb feedback, you can increase it here without needing to know too much about the underlying details. This works quite well, although I must say that these days in most sims, I leave this graph completely flat because the 16 Nm motor is very capable of giving clear and precise feedback through my hands. You can also customize the LED rev meter on the wheelbase, which is nice. For this to function, you need to have the Moza software open. The rest of the wheel's functionality all works fine without the software running. In the software, it detects the sims that you already have installed and you can launch them with one click. This is especially handy for some titles like Dirt Rally 2, which will not work until you've launched them from within the Moza software. It does a one-time configuration behind the scenes to make life a lot easier for you. This again is a really nice touch. Quick release. This is yet another NRG style quick release. Thankfully, Moza have chosen not to customize this Cuyar like some other brands have done. This means that you can use cheap aftermarket options as well as using D1 spec, Simagic or even NRG quick releases. This is by far the easiest and best quick release system on the market, and although not exclusive to Moza, it really adds a lot to the product, especially if you swap wheel rims occasionally. I'm not sold on the gold look here, but it's also not that in your face. It's not bad, and I appreciate that Moza is trying to differentiate from the competitors, but it does seem that deviating from the current trend of simple black sim racing gear can do more harm than good when it comes to how people judge your products aesthetically. Wheel rim. The Moza RS round rim is really good. It does feature a relatively generic steering wheel rim, but the button box is where the magic is. You get 2 directional hats, although they are each only 5-way hats. There's no rotary functionality on them, which for me isn't the big issue. It's worth noting that these multi-directional sticks don't have a click when you move them. They move freely, which can be a little bit difficult to get used to, especially when wearing gloves. Occasionally while pressing one of the buttons near them, I accidentally also touch these sticks. They do click down nicely, and all in all, they're really good for sim racing, and the functionality they provide sets them apart from some of their closest competitors. The buttons feel nice and accurate to press, although they do look a little bit cheap in my opinion. Some people will love the multicolour look, but I prefer my hardware to look simple and elegant. During spirited driving, I actually had one of these caps come completely off and I couldn't put it back on easily. Eventually I stuck some blue tack in behind it and it has stayed in place ever since. Moza say that they've improved on this button quality since my unit was issued to me. There are 10 buttons on this wheel rim, which is more than you could possibly need. They've done a really good job here. The large rotaries are fantastic. They're so easy to grab and have crisp detent that really made them easy to use and trust. They offer click down functionality too, which is very handy and easy to use without rotating them. These rotary switches are excellent. The LED rev gauge gives a Knight Rider-like pulse on startup and offers great customizability to get it to behave exactly how you prefer. It also has a handy indicator to show you that the base is on, and there's a power switch on the rear to make life nice and easy. The crushed carbon fibre is glorious, but the yellow striping and busy colours takes away from it a little bit in my opinion. There's more crushed carbon fibre on the shifter and clutch paddles. They look incredible, and the little slot in them allows your fingertips to dig in and get the perfect grip for a timely gear change or launch. The travel on the shifters is very clear and feels like it's finely tuned. The clutch paddles offer great stiffness and smoothness for those excellent launches and standing starts. Bravo Moza, you are onto a winner here. I say you're onto a winner not because of all the great things I've just mentioned here, but because you've catered for absolutely everybody by even including a functioning and realistic horn button. Wireless system. The Moza Wireless wheel rim is excellent. It just works. There's no setup, no pairing, nothing. You could be fooled into thinking that the power pins on the quick release also handle communications. The wireless protocol is so good in fact that it allows you far more functionality than even the leading wireless sim racing system, SimiCube SC2 wireless protocol. Where the SimiCube allows for up to 28 binary inputs, Moza allows for a whopping 31 inputs, including the 2 excellent analog clutch paddles which I mentioned earlier. The only thing that could make this system better is wider compatibility with third-party products, or even better, a standalone Bluetooth module and battery pack. I can see why companies don't do that, but in my opinion, trying to lock people into a single brand ecosystem is a thing of the past. Force feedback. The force feedback from this Moza has evolved a lot over time. It was never really bad, but there was clear room for improvement. I'm delighted to say that now it's really good. It's accurate and nice to use. I do think that at times it has slightly less definition than some of its competitors, but this is a software settings issue or a firmware issue which I'm sure will be improved on in the future. Everything that I need and expect from good force feedback is there, and most of the time it was impossible to tell this force feedback apart from its competitors. At 16 Nm of torque, there's plenty of power available to give you a high-end sim racing experience that you'll probably never need to upgrade. iRacing force feedback was excellent. ACC was also very good. When I tried drifting in Assetto Corsa, I was actually very disappointed though. However, at the time I was using a beta version of the software, which didn't allow you to change the hands-off protection feature. Hands-off protection is basically a feature that kills your wheelbase's rotation completely once your hands are off the wheel rim. This is ideal for hard crashes or spins, however for drifting it's not ideal, so I leave it off all the time. At times during use the wheelbase got warm. It makes me wonder whether the design of the housing is a help or a hindrance. Final thought. As I said, the Moza ecosystem got off to a rocky start. But it's not by our success that we should be judged, it is by our ability to recover from our failures, and Moza has recovered in style. Yes, the styling isn't for me, but this product is about far more than just style. The substance is there, the quality is there, and most importantly, the Moza team listens, innovates and communicates well. If not directly, then to their resellers. I speak with resellers frequently and they love working with Moza. That says a lot about their goals and investment in the community. I'm happy to recommend this wheelbase and steering wheel to anyone who's in a position to upgrade. I'd go for the black R16. The round rim gives you everything you need for any type of sim racing, but I'm very drawn to their GS Formula style rim, which I simply cannot wait to get my hands on. They also offer a 21 Nm version of this wheelbase, which I imagine would definitely address the extremely minor shortcomings of this wheelbase. Their trio is rounded off with the R9, which also looks to be a great piece of kit. Furthermore, they're constantly releasing more and more new products, which shows that they can produce quality at scale. Again, I'm glad I waited to review this product, as it has become what we all hoped it would be. It's not perfect, but it's really good. The future is bright for Moza and sim racing. What I initially thought was just another company cashing in on sim racing is now a brand that people are genuinely excited about. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm always using the hardware that I'm reviewing whilst on stream. I'm Lawrence, thank you so much for watching, and I'll chat to you later.